The Leo and Danny show. I got a story to tell.
All right.
Speaking of workplace misuse of power, not really. I'll tell you why. When I was a bouncer in San Francisco, I got quite a bit of pussy. And it's a real head scratcher to me because in San Francisco, the median income's like $259,000 a year. All the girls that came to my bar, it was in the Marina District, are ex-sorority chicks, ex-Ivy League girls, girls who work at Salesforce, girls who work at Facebook, Google. So you wouldn't think a guy who's making $13 an hour, working 2 nights a week at a bar as a security guard, is going to be on their radar as far as getting pussy. Here's how it works, though.
Well, you're a handsome man.
Thank you, Leo.
Of course.
I had a buddy tell me this once who was also a professional bouncer for the early stages of his life. He's now quite a wealthy man. He said that when you're working in nightlife, it's like you're, quote, too cool for school is how he put it. All these investment banker dudes who have flush bank accounts and admirable net worths, the problem is when they get into the bar, they're drunk. They've been pent up at their desk for fucking 70 hours that week working. So they're desperate with the chicks. They're,
right.
Oh, where are you on Instagram? How much money? Where do you work? You know, I got really good stock options in my company. They stink of desperation.
That's so true.
They stink. Do you want to come back? You got to see my apartment. It's great. There's a beautiful view of the Bay Bridge, baby. We can go tomorrow and go to the museum, then get mimosas. Then we can go out into the lawn of the marinas and throw a frisbee. But I'm sitting over there.
I totally have a buddy like that. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm chewing some big league chew. I'm fucking kicking back. I'm clowning around, making jokes. Yeah. The guy I worked with was Kyle from Jiu-Jitsu. Him and I are working on our Osoto Agaris out there on the cement when we got a break between people coming in. So we're not having to actively check IDs. The girls are attracted to that. Like, who are these relatively handsome guys that just don't give a fuck?
It's true. It's true. If you can present that kind of demeanor and if you can fake it, because oftentimes, yeah, you when you are desperate for a girl, we've all been there. We've all been desperate for some ass.
Yeah.
You got to present that demeanor where you don't seem to need it. You just are there to talk to them.
This brunette girl comes up to me one night. She's drunk with her friends. I'm sober as a seagull. I guess seagulls aren't the most sober of birds. No. Sober as a falcon. That's better. Seagulls are digging through trash.
Yeah,
they're the hobos of the flight.
Yeah, they're the Venice Beach.
Yeah,
birds,
exactly.
You know. Yeah.
I take this girl. She's flirting with me. She says she wants to kiss. She's drunk. I ask my supervisor, Kyle. I say, hey, Kyle, can I take this girl over into the alcove? The alcove was a cut in the buildings. It was between us and another bar down the street where I would take girls on shift to make out, feel up their titties, exchange phone numbers, do whatever unprofessional shit I wanted to do out of view of the security camera overlooking the bar.
Oh, wow.
And I really don't know why I was that paranoid at the security camera. My manager was a guy named Miguel, and he was a notorious alcoholic, and he could barely stand up by the end of the shifts. You'd go collect your tip money at 2:15 a.m., this guy would have to fucking hold on to the cash register for physical support.
Oh, my God.
You'd have to count your tips thrice.
That's not professional.
It wasn't professional at all. Yeah, so I really didn't have to worry about the cameras. But
how much average night of tips? What would you make?
I was exaggerating when I said I only made $13. There were the tips at first when I worked there were about. Did I ever get tips? No, I got paid in cash. It was hourly. This isn't that interesting, but I guess I made $25 to start hourly.
That's really good.
Really good. Yeah. And they'd pay us out in cash, so we'd have to go get it out in cash.
That's
but
great.
Then it jumped up to the end of that job, like $28 an hour.
That was great.
But the problem is it was only 2 nights a week, so you couldn't make a living doing it. But it was a really good supplement to another job. And as far as pussy, it was a fantastic supplement to another job.
It's a great job to have.
I'm in the alcove with this girl. I reach down the front of her pants, and I'm fingering her pussy. I'm sucking her titties. I actually have pictures of it on my Patreon. I swear, people, these plugs aren't intentional. It's up on my Patreon.
It is.
It's a story, and there's pictures of me making out with her. I say, hey, baby, after this shift, I'm going to take you to my Ford Fusion 2006. I'm going to pull out my penis, and I'm going to make you do things to it. And she says, okay. I'm down. So I go back out. I carry out the rest of my shift like a professional. Not that professional.
Yeah, I bet not.
The guy I worked with, Kyle, he is a rock star bouncer. I came back to his apartment. That's where I would sleep, because between when I lived in Las Vegas and when I moved to LA, this was in the very early days of my YouTube channel, I was staying with my parents in Sacramento, and I'd commute out for the weekends. This was about a 3-month window. I would stay with him in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. He had a 20-gallon fish tank full of fake IDs he'd confiscated.
Wow.
He could tell by smell, I swear to God. He had an extrasensory ability, perhaps even, to detect fake IDs. A fish tank full of them.
Wow.
The only trick I had is really cheap fake IDs. If you bend them in your hand, sort of like you're shuffling cards, you get that arc bend, the laminate will come up. There'll be a crease down the middle if you do that. That's a dead giveaway for fake IDs. Also, South Carolina, the most faked fake ID state.
Wow. Why is that?
I don't know. It's just a trend. It's something to look out for.
Interesting.
Your bouncer spidey senses get tingling when somebody comes up with South Carolina.
There are certain ones that are harder to make than others.
New York's the toughest to fake because it's got peach fuzz on it. At least the old one did.
Text. I think we might have a doctor.
You want to come grab her?
Here. I'm going to go grab her.
I'll continue telling my story. She might like the end of it. After my shift, I take this broad out to my Ford Fusion 2006. There's really not much more to tell, so I suppose this is good timing. She blows me. This is tough. The doctor's going to walk in and hear some crude shit going on. Austin, she blew me, and not only did I not shower for the 6 or 7 hours of my shift, obviously, I don't think I'd showered that entire day prior. Also, I used to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before I'd go into work, so I might have had a full BJJ workout under my belt also. Literally under my belt.
If I don't wash my balls like 30 minutes before someone's like going to blow me, they're probably going to throw up.
I'm glad you and I can relate on that. I thought it was because I just got big nuts, or one of my nuts is super big. I thought that might have been a problem. That's why there's an odor down there sometimes. If I sleep, can you relate to me on this? When I sleep a steady night of sleep, 8 hours, and I get up in the morning to piss, sometimes I smell a little funk coming off my balls just when I piss in the morning.
Yeah, if I'm playing RuneScape for too long.
Oh, no.
And I'm just sitting in my chair, I can smell my stench from my balls like coming up, and then I know, okay, you need to take a shower. It's been like 48 hours.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that you and I can relate. Oh, here comes our doctor.
Anyway, so here is...
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Holy shit.
Yes, but we have a chair for you and some water because, we managed to do that for you. So
wow. Hello. Welcome. This is definitely a guy's house. I'm sorry. Our studio is very unprofessional.
Heavily for that already, but yeah, so sorry about that.
Kate was the name?
Yes, Kate. I can read her some of her qualifications if you'd like, but if you want, you can go ahead and just tell us who you are.
Well, actually, Leo, I was wrapping up a story. I'm really
okay. We'll keep going. Oh my God, this is quite the story. We were telling some interesting stories right before you got here.
It's probably in the worst stage of the story, too.
Oh, boy.
The part of the story that's left is literally I went out to my Ford Fusion 2006.
Oh, God.
Received a blowjob after having not showered for 18 hours.
18?
And then made love to this girl in the passenger seat of my car.
We decided it was a good idea to tell our best sex stories at work before you came in. But we also, we're both sexual beings, and we need a lot of help, doctor. So thank God that you're here because we are in need of help.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's some hygiene stuff going on.
The hygiene,
I might not be the right doctor.
There were some hygiene issues Austin and I were bonding over. I can assure you, though, they've been taken care of. No, I actually haven't showered today. Fuck. Stay away from me.